Alright, what's up everybody? Just got done playing casual round out in a big open field in Salt Lake. Got the mountains kind of hiding behind me, but figured I'd do another road to 500 feet video. I'm going to be throwing into a headwind today. A little bit of a left to right, which is probably my least favorite wind to throw in. So although it's a road to 500, I'm going to be a little bit less concerned with the distances and more so with, I guess, how it felt is a good way to put it. I'd imagine a lot of you that have been playing for a little while would agree with this, but I tend to have a pretty good feeling of when I've hit a shot well, especially in terms of power, and that's going to be our gauge today. So I've got 5 drivers. We're going to do probably 4 sets of throws. The theme today, so first video after my benchmark or baseline video was focused on just driving the hips, and it was really a swing thought more so than a form mechanic. It was really just as I started to pull through, focusing on driving my hips forward towards the target, and saw some noticeable improvement there. So we're going to be maintaining that, keeping that change up, and then implementing another slight difference today. This one is more of a physical thing, but is just as simple, which is just going to be standing up straighter. Found when I watch footage of myself that I tend to bend over quite a bit more than I need to, even when trying to throw shots that are flat or slightly anhyzered. Obviously when you're trying to throw a big spike hyzer, you want to lean forward a little bit, but I think I've been exaggerating that quite a bit. So today the goal is just going to be to stand up a little bit straighter and still drive with the hips and see how it turns out. So let's jump into it. In the field, got Doomsday Cataclysm, finish line interval, a couple destroyers, and a rake. Wind is, I think from the angle I'm going to be throwing, a little bit more left to right, not so much headwind. It still isn't great. We're going to try to put some out there. So I'm going to be using the rake as my warm-up disc, and then try to hit the others a little bit harder. Common theme during the casual round today was nose up. So let's try and fix that as well. So we had the up right there, just not the hips so much. Focus on still driving forward. Better. A little turn on it. First good one. I think I'm almost thinking too much about standing upright. I'll try to relax a little bit on this last one. High. Not bad. We'll measure and see where we're at. All right. First set over. Not bad. Was still breaking 400, but just barely. I got the orange destroyer to go about 410. I think that I was thinking too much about shifting my back instead of lowering my body. So I think in trying to generate power, I wanted to bring the disc through at a certain elevation, and was bending over to get it there. Straightening up, I'm affecting my arm. I guess long story short, I want to keep it at the same elevation, keep my back straighter. I think the way to do that is to bend my legs a little bit more. So that was a very long-winded way to say that, but we're going to do 5 more. This time, instead of thinking about straightening my back, I'm just going to bend my legs a bit. Took too much turn for the Wraith, but I think that was closer. Let's keep it going. I feel like I'm closer, I'm just charting it. Maybe still a little too straight. It's better. A little too much hyzer. We're going to think about the angle of the disc here. I want this to come off at just a barely hyzered. Immediately flip up, hopefully get a little turn. It's not barely hyzer. Lots of hyzer. Alright, interval's a little more stable. We gotta hit this one flat. Getting there. All right, one more minor change. Had a stressful day. I think as many of you could probably relate sometimes. I think I'm just too tense. So this time, not really gonna think about anything else except nose angle and just relaxing. That one felt better. Lots of hyzer, but it's a race, so I needed to. There we go. Not a bad line, just low. Same thing. Last one, a little more height. It's one of those where you grip lock it and throw it 30 feet farther than you normally do. I don't think I mentioned it yet. Shifted location from the first set. A little more open, a little bit better wind. I was kind of throwing into the driving range across the way, so wanted to avoid that. This is going to be the last set. I was hitting roughly 415 on those. The two low ones in that third set, last set, went pretty much as far as the high ones, which tells me that they were good lines, good power, just barely too low. So goal is to recreate those, maybe a foot higher. That's pretty much it. Last set here, gonna try to end on 5 good ones. Wind's picking up a little bit. It's like the mic never really gets it, but that's all right. We'll throw 5 more, measure them, wrap it up, and put together our game plan for next time. Ready to go far, even at elevation. One more turn than I'm intending, but good nose angle otherwise. think that was the fastest throw yet, just way too nose up. Snap on that one. Stay out. All right, last one. Another good one. I like it. Yeah. Good line. Intervals are stable. Let's measure them. That's gonna wrap it up for this video. Distances on the last set weren't great either. Still right around 410 was where I was maxing out at. Again, at an ideal wind. I'm not gonna worry too much about it. But yeah, I think the bending the knees, keeping my back straighter are both valid changes. If anything, they feel more comfortable. What I will say, I noticed in my casual round, which is kind of what prompted this, is that especially on putter and mid-range shots, the staying more upright, I feel like on putter and mids, my body slows down. I'm just not moving as fast as I am with a fairway driver or driver. And keeping my back straighter while going through those slower run-throughs really helped me utilize my hips and not my arms. Haven't quite figured out exactly why that change worked. But today, even with the bad wind, I was pretty effortlessly throwing putters, including a zone, like 310. Mids were about 350 with a fan grip. So I think there's certainly some validity to it. I think the challenge is just gonna be integrating that with my fairway and driver throws. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for the video. One thing I would love to get your guys' thoughts on, I'm thinking about it now, something I've had quite a few discussions recently on, is how elevation affects distance. I found that typically when I go to lower elevation places, being out in Utah, it's typically Vegas or California, but even playing in chess.com, I noticed that just going to the lower elevation places typically added 30 feet pretty instantly. First round at lower elevation, not even knowing how the disc fly was throwing 30 feet farther. Curious if other people have had that same experience. Obviously it's not adding 150 feet, so lower elevation is certainly not getting me to 500 feet right now. But I wonder if it's a pretty common thing for people to throw farther at lower elevation. Something I haven't quite fact-checked myself, but love to hear you guys' thoughts on that in the comments. Hopefully these are somewhat educational, maybe exciting to at least see me throw kind of far. But yeah, we'll keep the series going until we hit 500 feet, obviously. It's in the title. And yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.